All right, everybody. Professor Cheeseburger here. And here's my face. That's weird. But today we're going to play something a little bit different. Not really, because it's very similar to the other games I've been playing. And this one holds a very special place in my heart, if you can't tell. So, today we're going to dive into, that's right, Final Fantasy VII, the original. Because what RPG guy could go without doing this? You know, like, it's just a great game. Everybody loves it for a reason. It's got to be pretty good. So we've got our usual scene of, you know, I don't really understand this part very much. Like, maybe I do. Because I know kind of what it is, or at least I think I do. I feel like this is Aerith trying to listen to the voices of the planet. Maybe I just gave some things away, but for the probably few people who have never seen this, sorry. And we are going to go with Aerith. I know in this one it's Eris, but I thought this game, when it first came out, was the bee's knees. Like, I thought it was so cool. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? This is a big city. This was one of my first, like, real jumps into the RPG world. I also remember it being one of the few games I saw on TV on a commercial. Plus, look how cool that city is. That's industrial. And then we have trains. Trains are industrial. Yeah. I will be going through at least through all of this reactor today. There he is. Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge. Because what Final Fantasy game is complete without Biggs and Wedge? Or I'm going to talk to this guy and take 2 potions off of his corpse. It's supposed to be like one off of each of them, like the first one and the second one, but I think they just put him on one. Not that we really need it. We're going to just like wreck these guys. Honestly, if you lose this fight, you probably should just give up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like to keep the original names because the story just feels different without them. I will say this was about as fast as I went when I first played because I didn't know what run was, because they don't, in the original, that screen that pops up that says, hey, here are the controls, that didn't exist. You just kind of had to figure these games out. That was the fun part of it. It's like, there's no tutorials. There's just get in there and figure it out. I don't know why, but when I first played this, I put Cloud off in there. Cloud off. I don't know why. I still have absolutely no idea where that came from. I think because I shared I got to use my I got to use my uncle's PlayStation 1 to play this game. And so using his PlayStation 1, I wanted to make sure I knew which character was mine. If I just named him Cloud, well, he was also Cloud, even though it would be obvious that we're way different points in the game. But I also love how those characters are, warning intruder, but now look, Japanese. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. There were times that I would just sit out here like this and grind. Anyway, back to my story real quick. That was how I came up with ways to differentiate myself from my uncle's game, was things like that, where I would just, it wasn't an original name. It's just, I added 3 letters to Cloud. That's all I did. It wasn't much. That guy just hit me with a tentacle, and I didn't like it. But I would also sometimes sit out here and grind a few levels. And if you ever play this game, you don't have to do that. See, Wedge is going over there to secure the escape route. Whenever I would play these kinds of games, I would always talk to like everybody I could and gather information. You don't need to. A lot of NPCs are not in this to necessarily give you the answers. A lot of them are there to add maybe some reality to this, I guess. Because, you're not going to just find like 3 people in a city. You're going to find many, many people in the city, and they can't just include like 1,000 people in this game. This was not powerful enough to handle that. But when you talk to NPCs, you just feel like, oh, they live here. It makes it a little bit more believable. I love, and I have played the remakes, I love how they kind of like, see, like you can talk to Biggs, and there you go. I love how they, in the remakes, include, or not include, but really dive into Cloud and Barret's relationship. In this, you get the sense like, yeah, he doesn't really trust him, but in the remakes, you really know that Barret does not trust Cloud, and eventually you figure out it was only because of Tifa. Also, this took me a long time to figure out, like, what button? Oh, the down button. Also, in the original, they didn't really have mouths, at least not all of them. And so when you see like Jesse's character that just has like a circle there, that was their little fix. And it just makes it look weird. And it's not every character, it's just some. But it comes back to Square Enix, or Squaresoft, just trying to push games out, in a couple of years, like 2 years from when they were greenlit. Which I understand, you gotta make money. You gotta get games out there to make money. But alright, now we have Barret fighting with us, and we have the same health. Cool. Is Barret in the front row or the back row? I can't tell. Whatever. Yeah, Cloud has magic. Due to some translation errors, there were a few things in here that, didn't get translated right. Previous Final Fantasies, you had ice, thunder, and fire. In this one, you have fire, but you have, or you had blizzard, not ice, you had blizzard. But now you have ice and bolt because of translation errors. Also, I love how they tell us about the ladder, and then this one right here that I tried to run to, you didn't have to push OK or anything, you just ran down the ladder. That makes perfect sense. Also, we're saving our MP. Don't want to use it all up. Critical. That is one stat in Final Fantasy games that's underrated, and is the luck stat. The one that controls your critical hits. Yeah. How strong do you have to be to lift a sword that thick? I mean, I imagine Cloud's not like a giant. He's not probably sporting like 6'5" or anything. He's probably a good solid 6 feet, somewhere around there. That sword is as big as he is, just about. Oh, you guys are gonna do something bad. You keep attacking Cloud. But I've seen videos of people who have made the Buster Sword, Cloud's weapon, and they're just incredible. These are... One guy I saw, he was way bigger than me, like big dude he's not like super bodybuilder or anything, but he's been working hard with his hands all his life, and he made this Buster Sword, and it was, I mean, massive. I'm not gonna say over that one. It was massive, and he even could barely lift it. So it just makes you wonder, how strong is Cloud that he can just lift it with ease? Yeah, so we don't really have a way to equip that materia yet. But what we can do is this, make sure we're healed. And there you go. I mean, this isn't just a reactor. And that's something also expanded on, is what was that little scene where the screen went red? What was that? They expand that a lot more in this part. Oops. Locked on target. Barret really only has 2 moves right now. And the other one, we just need him to get attacked a bunch. But right now, this guy doesn't want to attack him. He wants to attack Cloud, which was the wrong move. Limit breaks. I did like the addition of that, and I think I may be wrong, but I think that this was one of the first games where they implemented something like that, a limit break system. Because if you notice, limit breaks, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but in 8, you have limit breaks when your health is low. It's been a while since I've played 9, so I don't remember off the top of my head. Also, this is a mistranslation right here. Or at least it's not clear. Obviously you do that and it's like, oh yeah, I'll counterattack you. So this is a good way to get your limit breaks used. Why would you want to use your limit breaks? Because... oh, he went put his tail down already. Well, I'll go over that later. Man, what was the 9 system? Trance. Trance was 9. And that was a kind of like a limit gauge where it built up, and as you learn more attacks, your trance gauge would transform some of your abilities and make them more powerful. I know Zidane's was just insanely powerful once he went trance. 10 had overdrive. No, I beat him before I could use limit break. Oh well. I never played 11. 12. I don't know that 12 had anything like that. Oh, hey. "10 minutes to detonation." Yeah, I know, but, we gotta do the important stuff, like heal and equip a new gun, and really not rush around too much. We got 10 minutes. It didn't even take us 10 minutes to get out of here. You know what? Let's use Bolt on that guy, because why not? "13 I haven't played a lot either. I haven't played in a long time either. I think 13 had... I don't remember. I don't... Nope. It's been too long. And I don't think 15 had anything like that. But they used similar systems to the limit break for a good little while. And I think it's a good idea, because it's... and again, I don't remember 6. I haven't played 6 in a while. But I don't think they had anything like that. It makes perfect sense, though. So I've never not saved Jesse, so I'm not gonna start now, because I'm not a jerk. But, yeah. He just jumps right over you and leaves you alone. Anyway. 7 is probably one of my... not probably. 7 is my favorite of all the Final Fantasies, and I've played a lot of them. And I've beaten most of them, too. I haven't beaten 2 or 1. Although, when I played 2, or 1, I played 1 because my wife got me a NES, but not like an old one. The one with the HDMIs on it. So I could plug it into a modern TV. And it was hard. Not because like things are super powerful, but because you really got to think through some things. Like, well, of course we got to fight. But because of the limitations of the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, they didn't have the coding or the ability to, like, if you kill one enemy, you can't just move on to the next. They didn't have that at the time. So in the original, if you had all 4 of your characters attack one person, one goblin or something, and the second one is the one who defeated him, the next two would just keep attacking that dead space. And that's what makes that one really difficult. So she trips a lot, by the way, or gets in accidents a lot. The first one changes that a little bit, where it's not that big of an explosion because of Jesse's bomb. She's setting another bomb. She just has them on hand, apparently. Hopefully it's not as powerful. Everybody else runs. Cloud does somersaults out. Rendezvous. I had no idea how to say that word, rendezvous. When I first played this, I was like, rendezvous? The world does that mean? No idea. I don't even think that's how I said it. The remakes make this an entire chapter. This part right here. When in here, it's just a quick blip. But I like it. And there she is. So you can say two different things here. This just kind of ends the conversation. Or we can pick the option we're gonna pick. One gil? Ugh, that's so much money. But I guess. And then we'll never see her again. You can talk to all these people running around. Most of them just panic. That guy talks about the graffiti on the wall. But for the most part, everybody's just like, what's going on? So you can either fight them, say later, or you fight them. If you take too long, you fight them. I thought that was interesting. The only thing that matters is that you get a little bit more XP for it, for defeating these guys. But it's not like it does anything other than that. You could just skip the fight and get through this part a little quicker. It doesn't change what happens other than you get 32 more XP points and 4 AP. Later. See, even if you skip those fights, you still get surrounded. We could probably take them all. There you go. Yeah, and that's how we escape. As an ex-soldier. I will fix that next time. No way, huh? Is that what we sound like jumping on top of a train? Yep. Because everybody just looks up and is like, oh, whatever. Doesn't make any sense. It's a little quieter with the door closed. Go figure. I think that's about all you get for doing that is say thanks. So it's up to you whether or not it's worth it. I think she still makes it out, but Midgar Standard Time. I don't know what that guy's doing. Now Wedge is doing it too. Okay, now we can say this. Let's be nice to Wedge. Wedge is a good guy. And now, yeah, let's look at this. Not that we have a choice. This is how we progress the story. I do like this because it's a good way to explain to you kind of what is going on in Midgar. Yep. Technically, Shinra headquarters in the middle is Sector 0. So we're kind of spiraling around Sector 0 down into the sector we're going. Fake IDs. I don't even know what that means. It's been nice. Ooh. Somebody's a little jealous. So in case it's unclear to new people, there's the 8 sectors, and above is a plate 50 meters above ground, and then there's the slums, which we're going to, and that's where the underground sectors are. So imagine living underneath a city that you can kind of see the sky, but not really. It's very deep, Cloud. Train can't go anywhere but where the rail takes it. There's a lesson in that, I'm sure. I think they did a really good job with the remake and keeping it as true to the original as they could. You know, while also keeping content in that they wanted to put in the original, but they couldn't because they didn't have time. and expanding the game a little bit to just make it play longer. Next one's going to be bigger. We're going to blow up 5 reactors. Okay. Well, I think this is a good place to end, right here, before we get too far. So, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think.